What's up, everybody, and welcome back to For the Minions, the weekly show all about upcoming third-person MOBAs that I myself am just particularly interested in. I don't care about Smite or any of this other crap that's out there.
Oh, wait, they got cool new skins though.
Throwing shade.
They always have cool new skins.
Transformers.
Smite has great skins. They always had great skins. It's not a bad game, but I don't give a fuck about Smite. I want these Paragon successors, and I want Ethereal. That's what I want. By the way, Raven, keep your goddamn mouth shut till we introduce you.
Oh shit, my bad.
no, you can talk all you want.
Hard today. Okay.
I'm breaking the script.
Man, that threw me off. This is going to be a terrible episode. Speaking of this week's terrible episode, we got updates for Overprime, Ethereal, and Fault. We got nothing for Predecessor, as usual, but we'll still talk about it because we got Raven here, and I got a really good clip of you getting, I think I was a pentakill on Sparrow a long time ago. Like one of their first stress tests. I don't know if I still got that somewhere or not. But anyway, if you want to just zoom straight to any of that, just timestamps in the comments below. We'll talk about the poll results from this week. And our topic for discussion is how these companies can use their communities, how these communities can actually help these companies out as well. So I am your host, the Mangoose. Joining me as always is my friend and co-host JellyKnees. How you doing, Jelly?
I'm doing fantastic, Mangoose. We're just going for the throat on this episode, man.
God,
just doesn't matter. We're doing it, which is good because I got lots of things to say. And with us this week, though, is the one and only Raven. Raven, how are you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, Mr. JellyKnees.
Yeah, you're allowed to speak now. So
I can speak now. All right.
Yeah. I've said you're allowed to speak now. Okay.
Okay, so it's free reign, right? And I can just interrupt whenever.
Now you're allowed to talk.
Okay, it's perfect. Yeah, hey guys, what's going on? It's been a long time since we recorded our good old our rage podcast thingy.
That's what this is.
I think it's legitimately been like over 2 months. Like I tried looking back at like the last episode. I think it was like over like 2 months ago.
I think it was
longer.
I think it was
probably longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm here.
Untitled Rant Show. We should do those again. I just kind of ran out of topics.
Yeah. I can keep now that I'm playing more games again. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So Raven,
back on League.
Tell everybody about yourself a little bit of your history with Paragon, favorite hero, all that crap.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll do that. So, hey, if you guys don't know me, I used to be known as Evan Almighty. If you knew me back in the Paragon days, I played ADC pretty much predominantly. I fiddle around the jungle a little bit, little off lane action, but mostly ADC. Revenant, he was my favorite, hands down. But I mastered him, Murdoch, Twin Blast, Sparrow, actually, too. But yeah, no, I did a bunch of videos. I ended up doing a lot of montages, and I ended up writing a song. Or I wrote 2 songs. Original songs for Paragon. Yeah.
I did not know this.
You didn't know that?
Not either. What the heck?
Oh, shit. I'll have to send you guys a link afterward. But yeah, I did one basically like, oh, this game's great. And then I did another one when the game was shutting down. So it was like a goodbye game song, but... That was fun.
Doxing him if he told us about it, right? Like it's.
But yeah, no. So I did that, and then I streamed it obviously as well. But as of lately, I've just been kind of waiting on our paraclones here and such, and our successors, if you will, or adaptations. So yeah,
prequels, sequels.
Now I'm Raven. Merch plug.
Look at that. That's nice merch. I'm gonna give me one damn.
You get it, yeah. It's on my Stream Elements store.
I guess I got a thing for birds. Well, let's move on to the updates. After I'm saying weird shit out of nowhere. Anyway,
it's that kind of night, man. It's that kind of night.
Let's start off with Ethereal. Ethereal, they've got their stress test this weekend, so let's talk about them. So obviously the stress test starts tomorrow if you're watching this as it's premiering. And which is the 18th, right?
Yep, Saturday the 18th. This comes out on the 17th.
Excellent. And then so you guys added some more visual clarity to the map. There was just the X's that were kind of painted on walls that would denote what you can actually smash with berserkers. If you don't know, the berserker class myths can break terrain, break parts of the environment to open up gank potential or just open up new avenues of approach. They do reform after a while, but now instead of just the white X's painted on stuff, it's a very nicely done particle effect of just blue cracks. And then the actual explosion when you burst through, it was a bunch of kind of rocks falling. Now it's just kind of a blue mist, which looks a lot better and makes it a lot easier to do stuff. So Raven, What do you think about? What you think about this? What you think about the new cracks?
Yeah, I haven't seen them, but I saw the old ones. I can comment on that.
Yeah, go for it.
It was very cartoony.
Yeah,
but I mean, I guess placeholder, right? You guys are in such development right now. I say you guys. I'm kind of talking to Jelly on that point. But
get out of here, man. Goose, he's talking to me.
Yeah, you suck, dude. You stay over there. No, but I don't know. Like, I haven't seen the new one, but I'm sure it does look a lot better. You know, since we're talking about Ethereal, I still don't really know how much on the boat I am since the last time I saw it, and you know, did my stuff with the game. But we could get to that later if you want.
If you want, that's up to you.
If you want. Well, you're talking about cracks on the rocks right now. So.
Yeah. Jelly,
like
what do you think about?
Sure, it looks good.
What do you think about rock cracks?
What do I think about rock cracks?
Not in
Considering
Ethereal,
I'm
just in general.
one of 2 people that implemented the rock cracks, I think they're fantastic because I did them. And if any of you say otherwise, I'm gonna come hunt you down. I'm gonna fight.
Oh, see, here we go. Yeah.
No, I love them. I think definitely comparatively to the white X's on the rocks, they're 100 times better. They just give that little sense of clarity. They make it really clear one way or the other of whether you can or can't break rocks. They break really nicely. They glow in and out as you're looking at them. So if you're standing looking at them, there's a slight glow that applies that fades in and out. All, I think, very good changes for the Berserkers and the rocks in general.
It's nice to see a replacement for the Acme destructible environment assets.
It's just cartoony, yeah.
As soon as you said that, that's
it's like Roadrunner. You see him coming by, meet.
Exactly.
An X.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be funny if you could have a hero that could paint onto rocks to make it look like there's a way to get through, and then you just watch people ram into it.
That'd be so perfect.
You'd be like a little trickster or something.
And then
Let me write that down
also,
real quick. Give me a second.
also this week for Ethereal, talking about the familiars and the battle spells. These are things that you could pick up before the match starts that affects your playstyle. And you have the familiars, which will eventually have an actual familiar attached to them, so you'll be able to look across and see if somebody has like a little mouse with a sword or a little elemental dude following them around, and you can tell what familiar they're using, and that'll you can adjust your gameplay as necessary. So I don't want to get into each and every one of those. If you want to see that, check out Enter the Ether, the podcast I did with JellyKnees, and we talked about these in detail, but I just wanted to more talk about familiars and battle spells and how they apply to MOBAs, and if you guys like them or not. So again, I'll go to Raevan.
Ooh. So, familiars. Yeah, they're supposed to be the old like summoner spells in League of Legends, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Essentially, similar thing, yeah.
I think it's a pretty important concept, you know. I've played that game now for a few years, and not having those spells, so like coming from Paragon as the first MOBA I played, then going to League, not having those spells, such a difference to having, because now you have a flash that I didn't realize how important that was, because again my MOBA knowledge was low. So now you have a flash that you can just get out of something quick or hop environment, say, you know, a hero can't, or anything like a heal, a teleport, a burn to help you early get a kill, exhaust to help you early get a kill or something. I think it's paramount. You know, it seems like a staple in MOBAs. I mean, look at Smite. Smite kind of has it too, right? Last time I checked. Yeah. You have, yeah. So, and those you can actually upgrade. They're like the talismans or something. I don't know what they're called. Runes. Yep. So, I mean, it seems like it's a good thing. So why not implement it into another MOBA, right? And I know with Ethereal though, that's going to be the tough thing, right? Is you have, you know, like, what is it, 7, 8 fucking buttons you got to press for just your basic abilities and ult, and then you got like 6 item slots, and then you got your 2 active, and then you got like the boots and oh my god, and then you have summoner spells. Bro, I'm gonna need like a what's the one like MMO mouse?
Yeah,
with, like,
the spider
buttons on the side.
Yeah, I used to have one of those.
I don't know, it might be a little much.
Jelly, you're obviously part of the design of these things. What do you think about them?
I think, like Raevan said, most MOBAs have shown that these are a pretty core mechanic of MOBAs, is having some kind of ability, whether it be a flash, whether it be a teleportation, whether it be something just extra. Having something like that adds flavor to the game and adds the differences from game to game. Because I could go against somebody that is running the Assault Familiar and then the next game go against somebody that's running the Guardian familiar, and they're very different play styles. And so having to adjust, even if they're playing the same myth, having a different familiar makes the game feel different and feel fresh each time. And even we've seen from some of the Parazombies, Predecessor has implemented a flash on every single character, essentially as a summoner spell. And so that's something interesting to see how that's going to work going forward as well.
I mean, they're game changers. Look, like, even I'm going to reference League a lot, but if you go to League, you know, if you go top lane, you could take Teleport, as most people do, or you could take, like, Ignite, if you want the little kill potential. Later in the game, when there's like 25 minutes in, and there's a big team fight, and then, like, yeah, let's say you have your Teleport and you need to get there, boom, you can go take an inhib or something. But if you don't have that Teleport, you're not going to be able to do that. So, like, it varies and changes the game.
Yeah, it really changes the way you build, which I think is nice, is just being able to have more options as a player to customize your experience and how and customize how you want to play a certain hero. Maybe you want to play Malaya, maybe you don't want to go in all in with attack. Maybe you want to be a little more defensive. Well, you can pick up one of the, like, the reinforced spell and give yourself extra armor and stuff. So
yeah.
I mean, look,
all about that variation, all about creating opportunities for you, for the enemy, everything to make the game feel fresh each time, and you be able to do those different things like you're talking about, Mangoose.
Yeah, and it could be like hero oriented, like you kind of said, because if you look at Hecarim in League, you know, no one takes flash on him because he gets more damage the faster he's going, so he takes Ghost instead. So you go like Ghost Smite or Ghost Ignite. You ditch the flash. Now you handicap yourself from getting out of a sticky situation, but it's for the playstyle of the hero.
Yeah, you got to look at what's going to give you the most benefit out of each individual game. So
yeah, absolutely.
Cool stuff. And then just stress test tomorrow again. That's just wanted to reiterate that. And if you were lucky enough to get a key.
And if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, that's how you have the chance to gain access. So go to the website today and make sure you're signed up for that newsletter so you can have a chance to get access to the stress test.
Check the links below.
I'll still watch in the background and observe for now.
That's a little creepy.
Just let you know I'm in the shadows, you know.
Okay. Now, the next one we had the most updates for was Fault, which I kind of stuck my foot in my mouth last time talking about how the patch 14 was going to be out by the time we did the show, and it wasn't. It was a couple hours after we recorded that it actually released. So I don't want to say that the free weekend is already up and running by the time you're watching this, but it should be up and running by the time you're watching this.
There you go. That's how you save it. You go should.
Yeah,
should.
Should.
When I'm at work, it should be over there.
Yeah. But yeah, they should be having a free weekend this weekend, like going on now if you're watching this right now, hopefully. But, you know, we'll see. But yeah, I think this is great news for Fault. We've been saying this for a while now, is they need to have at least some free weekends to draw more people into the game and increase the player base. I really wish they would have done this during patch 13, because that's when the game was functioning optimally. After patch 14, there's a lot of great things added with the patch, but the game isn't optimized well currently. And I think if they don't drop the optimization patch by the time they have this free weekend, people are going to be like, no, fuck this. And they're going to turn right the hell around and not even come back to Fault ever. It'll be their second chance, and they'll biff it.
And that's exactly it, Mangoose, is if someone's coming back, they've played it when it first came out, and they're coming back for the free weekend because they returned it, whatever it is, right? And they come back to a badly optimized game, they're just never going to come back. Like, it's just going to be the second nail. That's it. I'm out. And there's a lot of things I have to say about this. The coincidental nature of their free weekend is a little surprising to me, especially with the optimization of the game. And they knew before they announced this free weekend that optimization was a problem, because the patch had been out for 2 days by that point, 2.5 days roughly. So before the announcement was ever being made, ever even announced that there was an announcement to the community, they knew this optimization was not behaving correctly. And so to announce a free weekend, if they're not going to fix it, is a very ballsy move. Like, that's just really, really ballsy.
Raven, you're over there giggling. What you got to say?
I'm giggling because you want me to mention the game I've been fucking thinking about as optimization. We're just talking about it. But like Hood, Outlaws and Legends, no one knows the game because no one fucking plays it anymore. But that game had promising ideas. But the player base is left literally entirely. There's 12 people playing the game right now. Look it up, it's 12. But optimization is probably the biggest thing that's killed that game. I mean, I can still run and get caught and not be able to slide. I can still get hit by arrows that no one's shooting. I'll get hit by an arrow. Now, I don't take damage, but it's like you make the sound and I'm like, no one's shooting me. Or like Sheriff. You get killed by the Sheriff. One guy's killing him. And then if you walk up right next to Sheriff, you just die. You evaporate, basically. Your head explodes. He doesn't even touch you, but you die because it's like a bug or it's a feature. There's 2 Sheriffs. That's happened before too. My God. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, if a game's not optimized, no one's going to want to play it. I mean, especially my experience with Fault, when I first started playing it, I was like, all right, like it's kind of fun. Like I get it, but it wasn't optimized. I didn't have fun. So like, that's how you get the longevity of someone playing it, is that it's a stable game. I don't care what fucking new content you throw out there, but as long as I can play the game consistently, I'm going to enjoy it more and then play it more. And then I'll look at the new content. But I've played a few games now with the new patch. To me, it feels good. I haven't really noticed any kind of like optimization issues that everyone's talking about. I play on high settings, so it's not like epic settings or whatever the highest is, but it's been pretty smooth. I haven't been able to play a full game because I keep making people surrender. I swear to God, like I played like a bunch of games of Twin Blast and won a Sevrog, and I'm like 14-1. I was like, okay, I guess they're gonna surrender now. The new items are cool. I like that. There's variety now. There's a fucking Guardian Angel like in League now for that. So that was my biggest thing when I was playing. I was like, dude, ADCs suck. There's no items. Now I can get an item where if I build it out, I get that shield in case I'm about to die. So it's like good on the items. If it's really an optimization thing, yeah, just hammer on that. For a free weekend though, I mean, if it's as bad as people are saying, then maybe it's a little weird. But for me, I don't see the issue.
Some of the big Fault creators, Bearded being the biggest one that I can think of right now, he crashes like every other game, every 3 games.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
hard crashes out of the game. That's a problem. If even half of the people coming into this free weekend have that problem even once, that's an issue, right? That is a huge problem that they're going to have going into a free weekend. And they've already released one patch that didn't even mention some of these issues.
Right. It was just a balance and bug fix patch, which is in the updates. But yeah, we'll talk about it now. There's supposed to be an optimization patch. And okay, here's my problem with optimization. Like a month ago, I could run the game at epic settings, get 60 frames per second, never drop below 60. I don't usually run over 60 because my videos are all uploaded at 60 FPS. So why play higher than that, right? But I could run epic settings and everything like a month ago. And everything ran fine. There were hardly any bugs. Now that we're doing a free weekend, I have to go and like I got to put shadows at low, and I got to put everything else high, and then textures at like medium, and fidget around with it, and still only get about 40 frames per second. And the big problem is like one way I'll be 68 frames per second. I'll turn another way and it'll dip down to 20, or I'll get into a team fight and it'll dip down to 20, and it's like.
You look at the sky, you get max frames. You look at the ground, it's like awful.
Right. That's the optimization issue. Once you set it and you're getting those frames running through the jungle or what have you, it should stay constant throughout the game. There shouldn't be dips and valleys in it. That's what they need to optimize for.
And that feels bad for returning players. People that have been playing Fault since the beginning are now getting worse performance than they were getting before. People that are coming back to Fault are now seeing it at a worse performance than it was at before, with bugs, optimization, the whole 9 yards. The changes they made to like the map looks great, but if the map can't run great, that's a separate problem.
Yeah,
and backtracking isn't a good plan for them.
So like, where are these issues coming from then? Because like I said, I haven't had those issues playing like a handful of games, and like I don't even have like a crazy computer. Like I have a 1070 Ti and an i7.
Seemingly random, because I have a 3060 Ti and I have random frame drops. So it's not a high performance
1070.
It's not a high performance issue. It's the actual game itself is the issue.
Okay.
So some interaction somewhere is having problems.
Yeah.
And like to me,
it's like a server thing.
Patch 14
I don't know.
from Strange Matter's involvement hasn't gone well. Other than their player base has been slightly increased since pre-patch 14. Right? Their average that they're
Getting
sitting
more
around,
players in Hood.
That's true. But their average right now is about 200, whereas before they were averaging about 100 a day. Which good for them. Doubling your player base, huge.
That's still good, yeah.
But the patch took 8 hours, which is nuts. If you thought your patch was going to take that long, you should have warned people beforehand. Because people getting off of work excited to go home and play the Fault update can't do that.
Yeah, that was like a 50 gig update, right?
It was insane.
It took me, I think, 4 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well,
It didn't take
I
me
don't have the
hardly any
greatest
time to
internet now.
download the patch, but it just
Well, I
took them
did it, like,
forever
late
to
at
actually
night.
upload the patch is the thing.
Oh, okay.
And when you're telling people the patch goes out on December 10th, people are thinking on December 10th they're going to be able to play, not essentially the 11th. Like, that's to me, it doesn't make sense why they didn't just do the update overnight. Yes, your devs have to stay up and work on that, but if you're trying to get your player base more active and more engaged and more of those things, having the patch up as long as possible on the day of release is huge.
And they also had a new trailer, which really looked really cool, but it was just a mashup of some of their old trailers, but it was still really well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So props to them for that. Let's give them a compliment while we're kind of dicking on them a little bit.
Oh, yes. Very good.
Nice looking trailer.
The trailer does look really good.
I'll have to
Absolutely.
go watch it. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it. I didn't even know they released one.
Now let's get back to dicking on them. This is something
Agreed.
that pissed a lot of people off. Is, patch 14 comes out. A lot of people were waiting to even try the game until the patch 14 came out. They paid their $20 for it. What, 2-3 days later, they announced, hey, after this free weekend, we're going to cut the price in half.
Price, yeah.
Yeah, so people that bought the patch when it came out are like, well, what the fuck, man? Like, I could have waited just a week and saved $10.
That confuses me because when I read that, I was like, okay, like, cool, they dropped it. But then they're like, yeah, like, this is our promise to make the game eventually free to play. So it's just going to keep going down in price. So it's like, what?
So why would anybody
It's
ever
that
buy it?
opportunity to buy in early to play it? That's what it is, right?
Yeah, it's early access still.
Yeah.
The
But you don't
dropping
really
the price,
get anything from it,
absolutely
I
a
guess.
good
Well,
thing, right? Good on them for dropping the price.
Yeah.
However, huge giant asterisk. Drop the price with your giant patch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
That's exactly what I was trying
Okay,
to
yeah.
get at. Like, why
Like that-
why wouldn't you do the price drop along with the patch?
It feels really sleazy to drop your big patch that everyone's been super hyped and waiting for, and then 2 days later be like, and we're gonna decrease the price next week.
Yeah.
What? That's
I
just
mean, this is
sketchy.
the same company that, pushed out all these cosmetics when it first released. Is it not?
Yeah. I
Think
mean,
about that
a
one.
lot of people have accused Strange Matter of having very greedy business practices. I mean, I think they need the money. They needed the money. They've needed that money to develop the game. They've used the money to develop the game. They've used it for good reasons. It's not like they just took everybody's money and ran with it or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not like it's some kind of scam or anything. It's an
Right.
actual game. But something like this, it does seem like they're just trying to squeeze a bit more of the juice out of that lemon, Like,
It'd be one thing if the patch dropped and several weeks later they're like, we're gonna have a free weekend, and during the free weekend we're going to have the price half the price of Fault,
right.
so that if you play in the free weekend you can then pick up the game. Then free weekend's over, and then maybe a week later they go, you know what, we're just gonna half the price. Like, do it, make it a reward. Don't make it this weird like slap across the face because I bought the game 2 days prior to your announcement. That just feels so bad.
Yeah, it's like they either really thought about it or they really didn't think about it.
Yeah, one of the two. There was no middle ground there.
Literally not in between.
It was either nefarious or ignorant. One of the two.
Yep.
It pains me because I really want to talk well about Fault because it's a fun game. Like, I played a couple matches before we started and had a great time playing. But then stuff like this happens where they drop the patch and then 3 days later is when they announce that they're going to do a price drop. Like, what the fuck, man? Just drop the price with the patch.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I think that's actually about everything we had to cover. We covered the balance patch where they nerfed Phase, which thank God, Phase was
Oppressive? Yeah.
quite oppressive.
Was she that strong? I didn't realize. I was like, oh, she's
problem
cool.
with her was her blind does almost as much as a Gideon Rock.
Oh,
and
you did damage too? Oh, I
yes,
didn't
and you
realize.
could link to somebody offensively so that they get stunned.
That
But
I thought was
while
cool.
they're linked, you walk up to them, hit blind, they get hit with your blind, and they get hit with the blind that you're applying to them. So they take
Oh.
a double Gideon Rock and then get stunned.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it stacks.
Super bad.
Okay.
Felt
I mean, you
terrible.
can still Red Rover the shit out of people, like link to your
Yeah.
carry and walk them to either side of them and blind, and they take that middle damage. But now it's a little less oppressive, and they've made the blind cost a little more and
Okay.
lowered her mana overall.
At least they hot fixed it, right?
Yeah. I'm glad
That's
they
good.
fixed it. But I'd rather see an
I-
optimization patch, to be honest, than a
Of course,
balance
yeah.
patch for Phase.
Yeah.
And the funny thing to me, Mangoose, is they didn't nerf Sword of Souls.
Oh my God.
They tweaked other items, but they didn't nerf Sword of Souls, and that blows my mind.
Were you
because
with-
that item?
Which one's that
I-
one?
You were with
That's
me
the
in that
item-
game where I was playing Twin Blast, right?
Yeah, where you
Yeah.
you were like 06 and then suddenly 12-6, like just because you bought one item.
Yeah.
Yeah, broken.
Is that
I
armor
mean-
shredding one?
No,
No,
it's a
gain
purple
power-
item.
Yeah, so you gain power and I don't know what the second stat is on it, but
Yeah.
the passive on it is that you gain power for every minion you kill up to 75 times.
Ow.
This item is one of the cheapest full tier items in the game and gives you the most power of any item in the game.
Yeah, once it's finished, it gives you 10% more attack power.
That shouldn't be an item.
it's
Well, I was
the cheapest
playing with
item
Jelly.
with
I
most
was,
power. That doesn't make any sense. That's poor balance. Straight
Someone
up.
didn't think about that.
20 minutes into the game, I was 1-6 on Twin Blast.
Mhm.
When we finished the game 45 minutes later, I was 14-8. Like, I finished that item and then just started dunking on people like it was nothing.
It's wild.
And like the enemy, but I mean, there's kind of a balance to it because the Sparrow, who didn't build that item, built other better starting items and kind of dunked on me for the first half of the game. But yeah, once I completed that Sword of Souls, there was shit they could do about it.
See, that sounds like the item to just build straight up.
It is. Everybody's,
away.
everybody's building it.
You can build
I-
the item.
okay, now
build
I
the
will.
item. It's literally
Yeah, you
that
should.
broken.
Yeah, it's
For
stupid.
The
It's
cheapest
stupid.
item in the game, or one of the cheapest items in the game. It's ridiculous.
I built it on Greystone, and like my team was getting dicked on the entire time. I was like, my tower's down. I'll start roaming, and we'll start getting kills. Don't worry. I've got my Sword of Soul stacked up. We're good. Walked
The
into a
assassin
team.
Greystone.
Walked into a team fight. Quadra kill was about to swing in on the Bellica for the final strike on my pentakill, and our phase yoinked me
Yoink.
back.
Yoink, yoink.
I almost had a pentakill on Greystone
Oh my god.
just from finishing that stupid fucking sword. Ah, yeah, that sword is a little broken. Oh shit. All right, let's move on to Overprime though. Do you guys
Oh,
have
I
anything else you
lied.
wanted to
Hang
talk
on.
about, Fault?
Yes, I did. Feng Mao
Oh yeah.
exists, apparently.
Yeah.
He has emotes in the store. His abilities are listed in the ability section of the settings.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Cool, I guess. What the heck? Like this,
He exists.
it was either thought out or ignorant. Like,
Yeah.
they're- what? And so their big announcement that they were making on Sunday, I was like, oh, they're just gonna announce Feng Mao. So
That's what I thought,
everybody
too.
knows he exists already. No, free weekend. What? And I expected the first patch to fix it. It didn't. The settings are still there. I don't know what's going on. at
Bro,
Strange
put the
Matter with this.
tinfoil hats away, man. They're just trying to
It's
mess
not even
with you.
tinfoil.
That's not even
I
a
literally
tinfoil
just went
hat.
into the settings. There was. I didn't have to open the game files or anything. It
That
was
Yeah, but now
first
you're
right in the settings.
hypothesizing.
That first night we were playing too, when I was playing with Bearded, and like every other person that came into his chat, hey, did you guys see the Feng Mao is in the ability?
Everybody.
I'll have to look at this now.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh man. Okay, now let's move on to Overprime.
Woo!
Not much coming out of Overprime this week. They've been the ones that have been really churning out the updates. But this week we just saw got a look at Iggy and Scorch and their work in progress, which is really cool to see. Definitely a fan favorite, Iggy and Scorch. I don't know. Judging by their other heroes, do you guys think Iggy and Scorch is a good hero for them to add in right now? Do you think that he would be added in by the time they actually release the game?
I
Maybe.
go for it. Go for it.
I think Iggy and Scourge is actually going to be a valuable addition to any of the parazombies, because having a character that places turrets is a huge shift in how the game works when they're in the game. The downside to that is Iggy and Scourge and Paragon were always a problem. They were either weak or overpowered. There was no in between. And so I'd be curious to see what these games are going to do with Iggy and Scorch to not have that be the case. And so that's my biggest concern with putting Iggy and Scorch into any of them, not even just Overprime.
I kind of disagree with you, because with what Overprime's doing, I feel like that character, although, I mean, they could change the kits. We've already seen that. But with it's what we think of the kit, I just don't think it would fit. I mean, you're already starting with all your abilities level 1. And so now you have to deal with turrets, with minions, and you're doing low damage early on. I mean, Heimerdinger in League, he's kind of annoying, but like it's not like you could drop 3 turrets immediately. I mean, he could, but they're easy to take out. Like unless they just do that and find a way to balance it. But for such a fast-paced game that I've seen in all the gameplay, like running around turrets as Iggy, you know, slapping your tail on the ground. I don't know. It just feels weird to me.
Which ultimate did you guys prefer? His original ultimate or the second one where his turrets all turned into machine guns?
The machine gun one, because you already kind of had like that self peel of the slapping tail and running away and then igniting it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the knockaway was kind of silly.
I have a soft spot for early Iggy and Scorch because they were like one of my first mains in Paragon.
Oh my god!
Like aside from Kalari, Kalari
guy.
doesn't count. But Iggy, I remember Iggy and Scorch coming out and being like in love with them instantly.
Yeah,
and so
they had a good personality.
I love the original kit, but I would say for balance reasons, the second kit is definitely better.
I like the first one. That, especially back when Decker's cage dealt damage, you could drop the cage on people, and then Iggy could push them into the cage, so they were taking damage from his ultimate and taking damage from her cage, and you could just delete people like that.
Well, I'm kind of remembering that too now.
Yeah, it was stupid.
So you just kind of animation lock them like.
Yeah, they're like. Oh, shit.
I don't know. We'll have to see though. I don't know. I just want them to add crunch. Crunch would fit perfectly in Overprime. Holy shit!
You're speaking my language now.
I loved Crunch, dude. Never got to master him, but goddamn, he was my favorite.
I had him mastered, and that mastery skin on Crunch looked so fucking
fire.
Good. So good.
Literal fire.
That's the reason I mastered him. That's the only reason I started playing Crunch. I saw his master skin. I was like, dude, I want that. Then once I started playing him, I was like, holy fuck, he's fun.
Yeah. Didn't they show off like those other skins that Epic released, but like in the Overprime world? Like the airplane one, the black suit?
We've seen them somewhat in their concepts.
Yeah.
Concept art and stuff. I don't think we've seen any of those particular skins on their map. Most of the skins that we've seen them display actually in their game have been Soul Leaf specific intellectual property skins.
All right.
Which are all fucking badass. Like that Rampage skin, which I really think that's a Rampage skin that we saw last week.
It's gotta be. King Kong looking ass, like I said.
Yeah,
he does the slam anyway, right?
Just the concepts that we've seen too, like the Bellica Racer skin, that shit looks dope as fuck. And then like the Lego howitzer, like what a great idea.
It's just they're all so good.
Lego howitzer?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it when I can. It's
I'm scrolling. Oh, this one. You call that Lego?
I don't know if you're looking at the right shit.
Maybe not.
I can see what you're looking at.
Like it's all right. Yeah, it's
the one that I'm talking about is obviously Legos. There's like little Lego circles.
It's so good.
That's the one I'm looking at. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. And then just the other thing for Overprime, they just announced that they're expanding their Discord to accommodate more languages because their community is growing so fast. And I've seen that from my end too. The Overprime community and the amount of people that are actually looking forward to Overprime now has grown exponentially in the past month or two as they've been churning out these updates.
I know. I've hopped on the train now.
We've seen that in the popularity polls, Mangoose, is that their numbers have been slowly increasing over time. and I'm sure it's only going to get more so as they come to their release theoretically this month.
Right.
I got so excited when they showed off that Scud gameplay. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This looks so much better than the last time I saw them playing this game.
Yeah.
Who actually uses his actual name instead of calling him Murdoch?
I know, right?
Because it's a different game.
Like, I'm playing
This
Scud
fucking
today.
guy.
You know?
Listen, hey, I was poking around in the Discord. I'm like, yo, when do I get to play Von Rover, huh? And then like the Von Rover guy like responded to me. He was like, eyeball emoji. I'm like, what the fuck? That's you. Also, by the way, do they watch this? Yo, Bumblebee hasn't given me anything.
Okay, I'll hit him up again, see what's up.
Okay.
Maybe they don't want you to be a creator.
Yeah, get out.
Please. I really like your game.
No, I'll hit him up. I
That's
think you would definitely be an asset to their team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see what's up with that. That's all I had for Overprime, unless you guys had something else.
Other than, like I said, it looks a lot better than the last time. Like the last time I saw them, they were playing on like the Monolith map, and it looked really cartoony because everyone felt bigger than the map itself, and they were all like zooming around at like 800 miles per hour. Stars flying, Grimexes. I'm like, this looks terrible. Like,
the
why
gameplay on
would I
that
play
map,
this?
It looked like they were walking on top of a picture of the map as opposed to
Yeah.
actually walking through the environment.
But I mean,
That's one of the
early
many things that
development,
they've
right?
polished up and changed. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I did see, because I was poking around. I was like, yo, you guys got any Von Rover gameplay? And they're like, oh yeah, check the Steam page. I did. I was like, oh, that's my guy. That's him. Look at him go.
He looked a little weak though. It looks like he needed some
He
balance.
did look a little weak. They mentioned Deathcrawler, and I was like, oh great, we're bringing that back.
Oh,
Good.
shit.
Fine, it's the only viable option to use on him. Give me something else, man. I tried so hard in Paragon to do like fast, like attack speed crit on Revenant, where like you're shooting fast, you're reloading fast, but you're doing a lot of damage. And after I switched to Deathcrawler, I'm like, that's useless. It's terrible. I'm gonna shoot slower and reload forever, but like, goddamn, it's so much more damage.
I forgot
Especially
that
because you need to
mechanic where
burst with him.
His reload went faster with attack speed. I forgot all about that mechanic.
Dude, I need to be able to do like what I do in League on Jhin, go 100% crit, and then just crit people for like 1100 damage a shot. Like that's fun. Man, I'm excited.
It's not fun for the person getting crit.
Nope.
Hey, that's fine. You know, ADCs, we need our love because everyone shits on ADCs anyway. Fucking mages, don't give me that.
All right, let's move on to Predecessor. We got nothing for Predecessor, but since we do have Raevan here, I want to get your thoughts on Predecessor, with your experiences with the game.
Oh, is that my cue?
That's your cue.
Okay. So, yeah, I played a little bit of not the last test where they had Howitzer and it was like the new map and Drongo
Nobody
was
played that
there.
one.
What?
I said, well, nobody played that one.
Oh, well, I don't know. Some people did. Some people did, but it wasn't me. I was away on at a wedding, and I was like, I'm so excited to play tomorrow. And then that's when I heard that everything shut down. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. No, but I mean, from what I played before, a lot of fun. I mean, I even had my one buddy who has never played Paragon before. He was playing with me during that playtest. Oh, he was having a lot of fun. I mean, it felt good. It was smooth. I didn't have any like hitching or lagging. They changed. Well, I played in two of them, I guess, because it was the first item set, and then they kind of adjusted some of the items because I was fucking running around with 100% crit Murdoch, doing like 900 damage in auto, just deleting people. I'm like, this is silly. So they switched the items up. They changed it. They added some new ones. It was good. And actually, when they added the new ones, Sparrow felt much better to me because I didn't like Sparrow before. But when they added the new items, she felt good. Excited to try Drongo and Howitzer. The new Howitzer kit looks cool, where he's flying around, shooting missiles in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Good evacuation ult too if you're getting ganked or something, and then just kind of hover away somewhere under tower. But from the new map looks kind of cool, and honestly, that's like what everyone's excited for is Predecessor because they've had the most success, they've had the most like funding, community interaction, whatever it may be. But I think it's at the top still for the majority, sure. But like honestly, like Overprime. Like Predecessor, like Overprime for me is actually a little bit higher. I don't know. I kind of am enjoying that fast-paced play style. It looks a lot of fun.
Kind of thinking about a comment that I was reading earlier today on one of my videos. The way they put it was just like a little over my head, but I was kind of thinking about it. Like Predecessor feels like a group of accomplished actors are recreating a Shakespeare play.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Overprime feels like that 90s Romeo and Juliet with all the neon modernized with guns and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what
incredible.
Overprime feels like. And Fault has felt like they've gotten close to being those professional actors, but for the most part, it kind of feels like a high school drama team.
Yeah,
with
they're like
an
the B
overly
team.
ambitious
Teacher
teacher,
Radio
as the
Shack that went out of business.
director. Like,
That's a great way to put it, actually, because that's spot on. That's so spot
Yeah.
on.
I mean,
like,
Patch
how it
13
feels.
felt very professional and smooth and clean. And God, if they would have done a free weekend during Patch 13 when Fault was at its finest, they would be in such a better position now. I'm a little bit dreading this free weekend if they can't get their shit together by the time the weekend comes around.
But that's actually even better for the analogy because the dress rehearsals are always better than the actual play. So
Yeah.
I guarantee that act out such a perfect analogy for this, man.
See, the thing is too, though, is like I said, like I'm a little bit more excited for Overprime, but the thing with Predecessor is that's the one that feels the most like Paragon, if I had to say. Like
Right.
Fault, they deviated a little. Overprime, they definitely deviated. But Predecessor, they've kind of stuck with what Paragon was doing and then just slightly improving upon it. And that's why a lot of people still like it and are looking forward to it.
Well, now that we're talking about all the games at once, sort of right now, let's get into the popularity poll.
Sure.
600 votes this time when I actually tallied it. Predecessor at 54%, Fault at 12%, Ethereal at 14%, and Overprime at 20%. So about what it was the last time. I think Fault has dropped a little bit. Ethereal stayed about the same, and Overprime has stayed about the same. And then Pred just went down like 2%. They went up like 2% from last time I did the poll.
And seeing Fault stay the same after a big patch and an announcement of a free weekend scares me beyond all reason.
And
I-
see, like,
That's
I
a
was just-
bad
I was-
sign.
I was gonna say, like, I get it though, because it's like Fault still doesn't have like that. It's not what people really want. I think it's still just like a filler game, to be honest. And like, I'm not trying to shit on the company, Strange Matter, but like, with the competition of multiple games trying to do more or less the same thing, you know, there's gonna be those ones that fall to the side. Like, I think eventually one's gonna take over, or two, but I don't think it could be all three or four. The fourth one is gonna stand out on its own. So.
But that's Fault. I think this community, this popularity poll, which I realize is a small percentage of people, right? But
Very
it
small.
shows that concept is very prevalent. That even Fault having a good patch and a free weekend does not excite people. That's not something that takes people's votes off of something else that they're excited for. And that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
The people that are going out and voting on this are theoretically some of the diehards of the community, and they're not showing, and that's a bad thing. That's a bad sign for
Right.
sure.
Have you thought about expanding your poll to like off YouTube as well, and then like adding the votes from somewhere else, like a Discord or something, or Twitter?
I suppose I could. It's just easiest for me to do it on YouTube, but
Maybe
If
get
you
a
threw it on
bigger.
the Paragon subreddit. I'm sure you'd get a ton of
Oh.
interesting votes there.
People still
Yeah.
look at that.
they do.
Dude, the Paragon subreddit's been blowing up recently. I don't
Really?
know why.
Yeah.
Fuck, I should check it out again.
Fucking here's the thing too, like we saw that huge increase in the numbers for the popularity poll whenever I did that. I mean, I did a video about Overprime and then I did the poll. Well, like while the poll was going on, we saw a huge increase in their numbers. I was kind of expecting that for Fault because I did do a video about Fault's new patch in between, and these votes are coming from my community, people that watch my videos. Really not big much of a big increase in the Fault numbers.
Telling you.
And Mangoose, we were talking about it earlier. Fault's peak of players is like 2,950. This free weekend, I think, will be a very clear indicator of if Fault is going to be sustainable long term. I think from a community perspective,
Mhm.
whether Strange Matter wants to continue it, that's one thing. But if the free weekend, where literally anyone that wants to play can play, if that doesn't break Fault's initial numbers, that's a problem. That's a huge sign of the community does not like this game.
Yeah,
The
because
look
it's
of
gonna
it,
be
the feel
free.
of it,
So
whatever
it's
it may
like,
be.
why not try it?
Exactly.
So if it's free and you're still not trying it, then yeah, it's an issue.
I've been seeing a lot of new players in Fault though. either new or
Absolutely.
returning players.
The few games I just played, I'm like, I don't know any of you people. Like, a lot of you are high levels, and you got the mastery skins already. I'm just like, the only person I saw that I knew was Lil Dash, but that was it. I played against her one game, but I don't know. How those mastery things work anyway, dude? I saw someone like Mastery 6 and they already had like the big mastery skin. I don't understand.
It's based on
different
your
tiers.
previous games too, so it took into account all the games you've already played before.
Oh, so like you could be master already, but still like level 4, I guess, in the new thing. Okay.
Well, it's different tiers too. Like you've got Diamond 1 through 10, Mastery 1 through 10.
Oh,
yeah. So like,
I didn't know that.
Like I was Silver 9 on Decker, played one game, and now I'm Gold 1.
Oh, so it's gonna take a long time. Damn.
Oh yeah, yeah. Unless you're Pappy and you've already played over 1,000 games of Richter and saw a Master Kwong in my game earlier.
Well, that's
It
an
was
ambitious
nice.
person.
It was nice too.
Kwong Master.
He was good.
God.
Was his name Great Axe or something like that? Good player,
Dude.
good dude.
Listen, as soon as one of these games can be playable, and they got their take on Revenant, bro, I'm in there. I'm in there. Nah, I know, but yeah.
Let's move on from the popularity poll and get into the discussion topic, which is how can they best use their communities. I come up with this like last week, but I had a perfect example of what not to do. Again, God, I hate to beat up on Fault, but I found a pretty big bug while fucking around in PvE today on Gideon, and I didn't know where to report the bug. Like I was looking in the game, there was nowhere to report the bug. I looked at their Discord, there was no place to report bugs. I looked at their website, no place to report bugs. They're in early access. They need a place where players can easily report bugs. And like this one was, if you back up against the wall with Gideon and then use his teleport, the other end of the portal goes behind you. So if you go to certain points,
like glitch out of the map.
Yeah, if you go to certain points where the map walls are fairly thin, you can portal outside of the map. And not only that, I had some friends come in with me in PvE, and they were able to jump through my portal and come outside of the map with me.
Wow.
So if I was in a team fight near like the inhibitors and I was getting fucked up, I could just back up against the wall and disappear.
Shazam.
And that's I know they used to have a way to report bugs in game.
Yes, they did.
I didn't realize it was gone, which if removed that, that's a bad idea.
If it's there, I couldn't find it, and if you can't find it after looking, then there's something wrong. You need to make that a lot more visible.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's how a lot of these companies need to be using these players, is as testers, since they can't really afford to pay, professional game testers to test their games. So that's one of the examples that I have of how they can best use their communities.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to relate it to Hood again, because, small game, small community. But you look at them, and very minimal people working on the game. But, I mean, they have the bugs. They have the feedback suggestions tab in their Discord. But it's just going on deaf ears. Like I said, they pushed out new content. They haven't fixed the bugs. The last time we got a balance patch, like legit, like balance the outlaws, was when they nerfed Marianne with her speed shooting. That was like before September. Okay.
I was gonna say, I think that's what I was still playing.
Yeah.
Because the last major patch was adding Ada, and that was season 1, and that was the beginning of September. We're now in season 2, and we didn't get anything. They put out maybe a patch a month, maybe. Yes. So it's scary because we always give them this feedback, and it's just like, I don't know, like, does it go against their vision? They said they always wanted to be not competitive, but with a game community so small, to me it seems silly that you're not going to listen to them and then evolve to go in that direction. If something's not working, why are you going to keep pushing it? That's the insanity, right? So it's weird to me that they're not adapting. And like, as a small community, there's a point where you can say, all right, yeah, we should listen to them and do that's a good idea. But yeah, there's times where it's like, this guy's an idiot. Like, why are we listening to him? Like, we're just going to ignore that. Yeah. But in their case, they need to listen.
a fine balance you have to find of listening to your players versus keeping to what you want and what your game to be, what you want your game to be. I think a prime example of this is Paragon. The players, they listened to some players and ignored the rest, and it showed. It showed so much that it ruined the game for all but this tiny mass of players, and that was a problem. And then they just completely stopped listening across the board, which then made it even worse. They overcompensated in both directions. And finding that middle ground, finding the balance of listening to your players, but also holding to the vision that you want for your game is incredibly difficult, but you have to do it. You have to, it's an ever moving needle. It's not something that's going to stay static.
Yeah, you can't just listen to everything that everybody wants and demands, of course. But especially with Paragon, there was very well thought out feedback. Like, people were telling them what the problem was and offering pretty good solutions to those problems. And Epic's like, here, have Terra. That'll fix it.
Yep.
You know,
basically.
Dude, we've been complaining about Razor Robin for months because Razor Robin became apparent when they fixed Marianne. So it's been rampant for over 4 months now. And guess what? The dev said, I swear to God, he said, just parry. When you are fully blind with no stamina, just parry. Because it's Robin, you know, he's a ranged character, but he's punching. All you gotta do is parry him. Okay.
Without stamina, how are you supposed to do that?
Without stamina, eating, 3/4 of my health with one running punch. Also, they dude, their last patch with the season 2, they didn't even say everything they changed. Like, they adjusted the walls. I don't know if you remember Outpost, but you were able to spawn camp as Robin along the walls. And then we were playing it one day, and I looked, and I'm like, I kept running back and forth. I'm like, what the fuck is this, guys? Am I going crazy? Like, why are the walls taller? They didn't mention that in the patch. Then they also fucked up the stamina. So now when you're out of stamina, you used to not be able to crouch. Now when you're out of stamina, you can crouch. So now Robin flashbangs are useless again because you can flash someone, and then you can just sit there and do this little chicken dance while you're trying to aim and line up a headshot. You can't do it anymore. And they fucked up again. Because with Marianne and Robin, when you do your running attack, that you could only do like 2, 3 at a time. You could do 7 in a row now. But your regular melees, you can only do 2 to 3. So they fucked that up too. And it's just like, they don't say any of this. It's crazy to me. Yeah, that's my rant on Hood.
Well, getting
back to communities.
Getting back to the communities, yeah. I think Overprime did a great job of using their community to its fullest advantage with their little competitions that they did. One thing I see though is Predecessor is not capitalizing on the huge amount of community support that they have right now. Like, there's not much interaction between Predecessor and their community. Certainly not as much as there used to be. You still see Smokey show up in some streams every now and then, which is fantastic. Smokey's such an awesome dude. They need to use Smokey. They need to use Smokey and put his face out there and have him be the face of Omega Studios, because he's obviously just a personable, nice guy that people get along with, and he's already showing up in people's streams and stuff. He shows up in the Ethereal streams just to check out Ethereal. But
yeah, he does, absolutely.
We rarely see him anymore.
All of these communities, especially small communities, but even big ones, right? Even if you look at League of Legends, all of them have a face. All of them have someone that when the players go like, who do I know? Who do I know on the dev team? Right? You can think of somebody. There's a definitive person that you can think of. Ryan Red is a big one. Ryan Red and Sylphin are the big ones for Fault. Myself and Skifter are the big ones for Ethereal. Overprime, I don't know who they are, but I know people exist that get mentioned all the time.
Ranger. I see Ranger all the time.
Community. Ranger, yes. Right? Pred doesn't have that. Smokey used to be that, but he's not anymore.
Well, like Taiga does their marketing, right? Taiga Stripe, but I haven't heard from him in a while either.
But Taiga,
going on
to me, seems like their marketing guy, not the face. I don't view him as the guy to talk to, the guy that is representing the game. Smokey, I definitely view that way more, but he hasn't been in the last 9 months. And it just feels like that's a void that they don't have filled right now.
Yeah.
And they need to be taking advantage of this lead that they have. Because Fault has a game. They don't, but they're still in the lead. Use that. Start expanding beyond the para-refugees. Use this community that you've built up to build up hype for your game a little bit. so that you do have a much bigger player base coming into this than anybody else. They can do that. They have that ability if they leverage their community, but they don't do anything.
I got an idea for a community event for them. Why don't they have everyone record themselves and be like, why are you excited for Predecessor, you know? Could be a really short thing. They can wrap that up into a nice community video. Oh man, and then boom. At the end of it, they show, more gameplay or new heroes or something. Like, that'd be great.
That would be a really cool video too, like show some gameplay and then show just a random person from the community, not like a big streamer or anything, just a regular dude that likes the game or girl talking about how they like or gender neutral. Trying to get myself canceled over here.
Well,
a random person.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Jelly, with your correct words. Yeah, just show a random person in the middle of the gameplay just talking about why they're excited for Predecessor and what they love about it. And, that would be great. That would be awesome.
Overprime. Or, sorry, not Overprime. Predecessor. Hire me. Save me from Home Depot.
There's something that Soul Leave did. I don't know if he wants me to talk about it or not, but I'm sure we're going to have him on the show pretty soon. Is Pappy Plays. The guy has he had well over 1,000 Richter matches in Paragon. He has well over 1,000 Richter matches in Fault. And Soul Leave reached out to him and asked his opinion on how they should develop Richter. Like, that's a great fucking idea. He obviously knows Richter. Like, he may not know the game all that great. He's good at all the positions, but he definitely knows Richter and knows what Richter should feel like, especially coming from Paragon to a new game. Like, I would like to see that more. I'd like to see companies reaching out to some of the players that are obviously extremely proficient with a certain hero and trying to get a little bit of feedback from them.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because one of the back end devs on Hood actually was DMing me on Discord and was like, "Hey, I want your opinion on the new game mode and what do you think? Because I know you play Raevan a lot and you're very good at the game. You know your stuff." And I was like, "Oh, this is great." They didn't take any of it, but I mean, it was cool.
I know Riot does that with League. That if they're reworking a champion or they're coming out with a new champion that fits the same playstyle as a different champion, they'll go to the high level one tricks of that champion and have them test out the new one and say, good, bad, otherwise, whatever their feedback is. That's huge. That's something that your community values, because it feels like they pulled a representative from the community to help make decisions. But also, in general, it makes that player feel valued because their time invested on a character isn't just time invested. Now it's amounted to helping develop something better, further, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I don't even have Master Richter in Fault. I don't even have Diamond Richter in Fault. I couldn't believe it. High gold, though.
More
High gold.
Bad is bad.
Okay. High gold, baby. High gold. All right. Do you guys have any other ideas for how they can leverage their communities? Or what the communities can do for them?
I think for what the communities can do for them, with maybe the exception of Overprime because of their Soul Leave backing, the other projects are all still indie devs. They don't have the most experience in this regard. They're still using assets that they didn't create in a lot of cases, except for Ethereal. But even Ethereal's got different challenges to address. Is cut them some slack, right? I'm willing to cut Fault some slack. Their most recent patch, they fumbled on, right? I will cut them all the slack, but that is something that they fumbled on, right? There is a give and take on both ends. And we talked about it on, I think it was ETE this week, Mangoose. And also, when you're not a fan of one, that doesn't mean you go dog on it. Mm-hmm. Just let it exist without your input, right? Just, if you're a fan of Predecessor, be a fan of Predecessor. More power to you. It doesn't mean you have to go out and dog on everything else.
Yeah.
Well, I had an idea for Fault. You can do custom games, right?
Yeah.
If you have a full 10.
So, Hood reference quick, but we, as a community, the guy who organized it doesn't even play anymore, but he organized a tournament for Hood in a game that you can't do custom matches in unless everyone turns off crossplay and you have the same 8 or the 2 teams queue at the same time. But that brought attention to the game. The devs kind of looked at it and were like, "Oh, cool! This is great, guys." But then they, again, didn't go off on that competitive, leeway. But like, you could do that for Fault, right?
Mhm.
Someone set up a tournament in Fault, get some teams together. I think it'd be great. They had money for the Hood one, but that was community funded money.
Yeah, if it's community led, I have no problem with that, as long as the
Mhm.
developers themselves don't try and start some fucking esports shit. But if
developers-
it comes
I
grassroots
don't
from
think
the
so.
community, then that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
It'd be cool to see the developers say, we love what you guys are doing here. We're going to offer some rewards of the winning team gets a skin. The winning team
Right.
gets something in game. That being able to go to the tournament, the community led tournament, and offer endorsement is one thing. Running it yourself is another.
Oh yeah.
And one of the tournaments that they did before was run by their like second company, however it was done, that the like fault, whatever the fault metrics is,
Oh yeah,
that's
the fault
run by devs. And they're the ones who put the tournament together.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's not better. That's not trying to separate it, does not make it non-dev run.
you're not
You
solving
need to
a
let your
problem.
community coordinate that.
Yeah, Overprime had their own problem. They had that tournament a long time ago. I think this was before they even were acquired by Netmarble, but they put a tournament together that failed hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first match went like 3 fucking hours or some shit like
Oh
that.
my god.
It was to the point that they couldn't even hold all the games because all the games were going stupidly long.
Yeah, man, I think
Which
it'd
is
be a great
odd since
idea.
they're trying to be faster.
Yeah, maybe they figured it out now, but who knows?
I hope so.
You know,
I hope
you got
so.
over. You got what the fucking Prime Guardian running down mid lane.
I'm fucking pumped to play some Overprime once it comes out just to see what
I'm
it's gonna
so
be like.
excited.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so weird. All your abilities level 1.
Yeah, I know,
You just
right?
fucking style on someone, not just auto attacking them in one ability.
it just takes that decision point away, really. Like some heroes, you just know what you're going to level up, but like especially if I'm playing Gideon, I won't level up an ability until I know for sure I'm not going to get ganked.
Right.
You know, because as soon as I get ganked, I level up that E and peace out.
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't have to think too much. You just more play and react.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool.
Yep. All right. Do you guys have anything else?
I think that's it.
Pretty good. Put my opinions out there.
Okay, right on. Well, let's move on to plugs then. Raven, what you got to plug?
Oh, plug-in. I'm taking a little break right now from streaming, just for like the holidays. I think I'm gonna be streaming on Christmas, but if not, I'll be back to it. But it's Raevan on YouTube, youtube.com/Raevan, spelt with my name, Evan. Twitch is Raven GG. And if you want to support me monetarily, Patreon I don't know what the exact link is off the top of my head, but Patreon, Raven, look it up. It's there.
It'll be down in the description.
Okay, there you go.
Jelly?
Just my twitch.tv/JellyKnees. Streaming at least on Mondays for Marvelous Monday, 8 o'clock Mountain Time.
Mine's not jelly.
Look at that.
But yeah, do Marvelous Monday every Monday at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. And that's about it. What about you,
Every
Mangoose?
time you say it now.
I have
every
to now.
single
You
time.
made me so conscious
Mountain
about
time.
it.
Mountain
Time.
No, I got nothing to plug. I just been getting a lot of comments talking about how they really appreciate us doing this particular show in general, and I just hits me right here every time I get one of those comments. I'm really happy that this is being helpful for the community. I know it's hard to keep your mind on all of these games all at once, and hopefully we've done a little bit of good in the world by keeping you updated on what's the most important things that have been going on. But if you're particularly interested in one game or another, just check out their Discord. Is probably the best place for any kind of info. And I have all that stuff linked down in the description below. But I think that is going to close it out for this week. Appreciate you coming out and watching. If you're watching the premiere, if you're watching the video, I appreciate you too. But that's going to be it. We're going to sign off for this week. You guys have a good one.
Later.
Bye. Bye.
Bro, you didn't even let me get to say thanks for having me.
No.
Oh,
Once
did you
Mangoose
want to?
starts the outro, you don't have
He
to talk
goes-
anymore.
Did you have final thoughts? You should have said it while you
No,
you
I
were
just
getting
want to say
plugged.
thanks for having me. Then this is a lot of fun. I appreciate talking to you guys
Okay,
again.
well then guess what? I'll just put this in the show.
Oh, you're
this
still
up-
recorded.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm still recording.
What, you don't want some crazy outro, Mangoose, where we just laugh and laugh? And
I'm just
laugh
waiting for
and-
Raven to tell
is
me
that
that,
what
he,
you did?
that to tell me he's gracious.
So thank you guys. Appreciate you having me. You know, I miss talking to you, but I'm glad that we can do this for the communities. I don't know. I started dancing there.
Roll the mangoose. Mangoose. Special shout out to Foolish Bloodhunter, JellyKnees, Meow Mix for Men, Stunt, Farenth, and Raven.